can it handle 1 million people? Yes, if you set up that way
Yeah,
to support 1 million people. But do you need to support 1 million people?
exactly. That's,
Just
yeah.
because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Welcome, Fedi Friends, to episode 38 of Fireside Fedi. I'm your host, Ozoned. Fireside Fedi is a show about folks within the Fediverse. If you're seeing this, you're in the Fediverse. With me today is Felipe Baez. I think I pronounced that right.
Very close.
Very close. All right, I'll take it. Felipe is a director, editor, consultant, and IT whiz. And I love that you put IT whiz on there because whiz, saying a whiz makes me think of like a nicer, simpler time. Uh, Felipe's
That
unique
guy
set.
knows about computers, you know?
Yeah,
Just call him.
right. The magic boxes. It just he's the whiz over here. Gee willikers, mister. Um, Felipe's unique set of skills placed him perfectly during the COVID lockdown to help teams understand and get set up to work remotely through COVID. Felipe believes that we live in a post-truth world. He has a problem with Gen AI, which I think we could all agree go hand in hand, and then believes we should own and have privacy over things we buy. I know these are very controversial topics for everyone that's on the Fediverse, I'm sure. Felipe is the founder of Cre8ive Beast, and we'll see why I had to go slow in saying that in a second. And he has a new project, Nuvon.io, a private cloud that respects privacy and your budget. Felipe, welcome, and how would you like to be addressed?
Thanks for having me. And you can just copy Felipe. Yeah.
Felipe,
Like
okay.
everyone calls me, yeah.
All right, that works. I'm always waiting for someone to be like, well, I'm pretty fucking awesome. So how about King, ruler of all that is great, Felipe, or something like that?
Oh my God.
No one.
I I don't think I will ever have that ego.
Give it time. Maybe when you make your first billion, then we'll go there. Okay.
And then I become a Sam Altman and don't believe anymore in private cloud and things like that, right? Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. But so how did you get to where you're at today, Felipe?
It's such a long story. I mean, uh, I don't even know where to begin. I think what I can say in short, and then we can dive into one or the other thing, is
Yeah.
I always wanted to do what I like, get stuff that is things that I like doing, and make them a way of living. That's how I've been doing my work for many years. When I was a kid in school, I hated when a teacher said, "You have to study this thing," and the thing that I wanted to study, they didn't want me to study.
Yeah.
So I used to read ahead on on the chapters of the classes, and as soon as they start explaining something, I'm like way ahead of them. Like they hated that, obviously. But
You
uh, I think my whole life is a little bit about that. I'm always looking for the next thing, and as soon as I achieve something, I'm like, great, what's next? And then keep going.
Wow. Okay. So you're a highly motivated individual that you never settle for where you're at. You always want to keep moving, keep pushing yourself forward, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I am like that. So if I make a video, as soon as I publish it, I'm like, oh, that looks like shit. I shouldn't have done that. I'm the worst. Next one's gonna be better, and then work on the next one. Uh, but yeah, I think life is like that. At least for me.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I think a lot of us don't understand that you should be pushing yourself constantly. You should be learning. My belief of why we are here is just to learn, to keep growing. And when we were initially talking, you made a statement which I absolutely love, which is, I better be improving every day or I'm out. And
Yeah.
I love that. We get too comfortable in what we know and we don't push ourselves to do more, right?
Yeah, and on that thought, there's one thing that always makes me so sad is when I hear people saying, "Oh, but I will have to learn a new thing." Oh my God. I mean, I am learning new things every single day, and
Yeah.
that's how I'm able to keep up with my own profession, with my own sanity in a way. If I wouldn't be learning every day, I would go crazy. And when I hear people saying, and I hear that a lot because I work in media and entertainment, and people
Mm-hmm.
like to not rock the boat. They like to continue working the same way as they've been working for the past years without making any
Yeah.
changes. Why would you change the team that is winning, right? Uh, and one of the things that I hear a lot is like, oh, but if we do that, we would have to learn a new application, a new workflow, a new method, or a new something. And I'm like, why is that a problem?
Yeah.
I don't understand. We are all, as a humanity now, or at least a good part of us, are learning a new thing, which is how to interact and recognize stuff that's being created by AI, right? Or by
Yeah.
the so-called the so-called oops, what's
Yeah.
called AI, because it's not really AI yet, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. We are learning. We are learning every day. So
No, and that's
I don't
that's
know.
that's an excellent point though, because if you're not learning about the new kinds of disinformation coming out, or even challenging yourself to learn those things, you're susceptible to falling right into their traps, right? Like you were a part of um Q into the Storm,
Yeah.
right? Which do you want to talk about that, or is that
We can. That was a fun
yeah,
project. I really liked it.
okay. So
And we worked on that during the pandemic as well. So
how did you get involved into that? Well, first off, if you want to tell people what Q into the Storm is, because I found this fascinating. I haven't watched it, but what it is, how you got involved, and it seems like that kind of aligns with your entire post-truth world.
it does. And I think it's totally relevant today. Maybe people are not talking about QAnon anymore today,
Hmm.
but it just morphed into another phrase, into another word. But we're living it again. And Q into the Storm was basically the story of the beginnings of QAnon as a following, as a cult. And in this documentary series, a six-part documentary series aired on HBO, we explore where it all began and who possibly was the so-called Q. And the way we worked on that project, first of all, um, the editorial happened during the pandemic. I
Hmm.
got into it because one of the editors that was working on it knew me and knew that I would be the ideal person to create a workflow in which 19 people could work collaboratively over the internet during the pandemic and deliver a six-episode documentary series for HBO. And we did that. We were 9 editors, 10 assistant editors, plus producer director.
It's
Um,
amazing. And
it was those were long days, but it was an amazing experience.
and the thing that absolutely amazes me too is that like you you had already been working remote, right? So you knew this stuff
Yeah,
because again, you are not only interested in the film side of things, but you've been interested in the IT side of things, and they really leveraged you for an entire new workflow process, right? Like
yeah,
everyone had to stay home, but work can't stop. Like these things need to be told.
yeah. And before I was independent, I was working at a Fortune 500 company
Hmm.
that had offices everywhere in the world, and our broadcast team was in 4 different countries, and I was responsible for the post production of that team, and I
Okay.
worked also on their at that time. So we called it white glove meetings, which were the super special, super big live streamings that we were doing publicly as well. So I went 4 times to the World Economic Forum and was there directing and producing live streams for this company. So for 6 years that I was there, our whole workflow was uh, was built to be remote because we had people in many different countries. Our operations were 24 hours a day. We had 12 hours of live
God.
broadcast every single day. We are probably one of the biggest broadcasters in the world that people don't know about.
I was gonna say, yeah, I didn't know about this, and we didn't even talk about this originally, and now I'm
Yeah, it has to be a
feeling,
surprise. Come on.
I'm feeling really self-conscious. Like this is,
No, don't
I'm
be.
just
Come
an
on.
amateur, and I have all this stuff all over the back of my wall, and I'm just on my
But
own cast
that's
stream,
what
and
that's something that is great about being able to have access to technology, or like for example you hosting your
yeah,
own cast, you hosting your own infrastructure, your own servers, so you
yep,
have the ability to do something that only huge companies were able to do before.
yeah,
Nowadays, producing videos also, we can produce videos with extremely high quality, something that only people with a lot of money could do before.
mm-hmm,
So at the very least, we are living in great times of technology democratization and information democratization and video democratization.
yeah. No, I love all of that.
I could
That's
not have prepared you for this, right?
no, I'm so caught up. I was like, we're gonna follow this, and you're just no. It's totally true, and I mean, one of the things I'm an advocate of the Fediverse. I'm an advocate of Owncasts and things like that. And whenever I talk to someone that is not like, especially about Owncasts, like I watch Twitch all the time because that's where a lot of the live streamers play games, and eh, everyone, even those that are super techie, are just like, well, you could never run that yourself. You can never be a Twitch. And it's like, the one person was like, well, can it support 1 million viewers? I was like, honestly, I don't
Do
know.
you
We
have 1 million viewers?
literally what I said. I said, I don't know. I've only tested it with 80, but do you have 1 million viewers? And of course, they didn't respond. And as
So
things go forward, it's
yeah.
only going to get easier for us to do.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know of the Fediverse hug of death or or something like that, right?
I've done it
You,
myself.
you
Yeah.
go you go viral, suddenly your servers go down because there are too many people accessing. Um, can it handle 1 million people? Yes, if you set up that way for
Yeah.
to just to support 1 million people. But do you need to support 1 million people?
Exactly. That's
Just
yeah.
because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Right.
Also, just because other people are doing doesn't mean that you have to do. We this is very interesting because there are people that might choose a technology over another or an implementation over another just because, oh, it can handle 1 million users, but the other one that can handle 500 users would be a perfect match for them
Right.
and with a lot less headache. I mean, Oncast is super light
Yes.
and can run really well. Uh, I don't think we need to have Amazon saying, maybe your content is not that interesting. Let's not push
Right.
to everyone else.
So and it's you get to make the rules. Like I've seen people that have made some absolutely amazing stuff via Twitch, but you're still bound by their morals, their rules, their desire to make more money, right? And yes, this takes more effort and more work, but we make the rules. We can build anything we want. But on the flip side of thing, on the flip side of things, we talked earlier about a post-truth world. That also lets those folks get their message out there. How do you feel about, the power of the Fediverse for us to be able to speak what we want, but the negatives of those that push misinformation, whether willingly, knowingly or not. I think a lot of these people are just kind of, I don't want to say brainwashed, but, you know, misled. It has the power to do that as well. And especially on these fringe platforms, a lot of folks that are on the fringes of society have their place there as well.
Yeah, I think on the positive side, anything that democratizes people's access to information
Yeah.
and being able to have a platform to, and when I say speak your mind, doesn't need to be political. Speak your mind,
Yeah.
you can be totally educational and help people achieve something. So I think the Fediverse is so good. For example, my profile on Mastodon is actually running on Go to Social. It's my own little thing there, Felipe at Baez.social. Uh, and hey, only in case a server defederates me, that people in that server are not going to hear me. But otherwise,
Right.
anyone that follows me in that server is going to have access to my content and so on and so forth. I think that's great. Unfortunately, there are too many bad people in the world, right? That like to take advantage of those things. Oh, no one's controlling me. Now I can speak my god awful things that are in my
Truth.
mind. I
Right.
think we are going through an evolution of how we're going to deal with that. We already have tools like defederating a specific server and things like that. But on the other hand, I think we are, although we are in early days, I think we are in the right path. Even if it's slow, it's still better than the path that Facebook and others have gone through, which is to
Right.
just follow the money and
Well,
uh,
yeah, I think
it's
that's an
complicated.
interesting point because like you're, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you're Brazilian, but you're
Yes,
living in Europe, right? And I
yes,
imagine that Facebook has a lot of rules that make you really question why the hell is this the situation, because again, they're a very American country. At least
yes,
this way you can build your Brazilian European platform the way you
yeah,
want.
yeah. And I mean, there are a lot of things that I don't like about. I'll just generalize as big tech. It doesn't
Yep.
include all of them,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
a lot of them. And we have to always remind to people, if it's for free, it's not for free. You're the product.
Yep.
These free platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, hey, you're using the applications for free and so on and so forth, but they are data mining you. They are literally making money out of your own data. And some people might think, oh, I don't mind. It's just because they didn't think too much about it.
Yeah.
It's like if you would be working and you wouldn't get a salary for it or payment. Uh, your data is your data, first of all. And if they are
Yep.
making money out of it, the only thing that you have that you're getting in exchange is access to that platform. I think that's a little too little. So if it's for me to
Yeah.
just have access to a platform, I prefer to be on my own platform. I prefer to dictate the
Well,
rules myself.
and
Uh,
and things like, you think you're not giving up anything, you're giving up your privacy, but you're also giving up, one thing we don't realize is we're giving up our time,
yeah,
right, to them, and that's what they want your time,
but
and
now,
then they get the chance to boost those kind of messages that lead to things like QAnon, right? Like social media had a huge impact on QAnon. I think it was 8chan or 4chan.
fortune.
4chan. Okay.
Yeah, it's very dark corner of the web, right? Uh, but there's the other thing. They are getting information from you that you're not aware.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It.
Like, hey, do you want to connect with your friends? Give us access to your address book. Hey, suddenly you decided yourself to make the names and the phone numbers and
Yep.
the email addresses of all your contacts available
I.
to that company: Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. and others, of course. Then, hey, let's tag your picture in the right location that you took it. Give us access to your location. And then, do you know what happens right after that? That application enables itself to run in the background. So
Yep.
in the background, it's pinging your location. So it's saying what time you are where, what is your daily routine. Oh, he stops at that place in the morning, maybe it's a cafe, and in the other one, that dictates which advertisement you're gonna see. That dictates a lot of things, and then you search
Well,
something online.
I'll say this. So I have an Android phone. I run Calyx OS on it, but I also have Home Assistant. For those that don't know, Home Assistant is basically your automated cloud where it can control things like your own light switches and things. And when they have an Android app, so you can hook up your phone to your Home Assistant, and the data that I get just on my own phone in Home Assistant, which I'm sure Google, Facebook, whatnot have teams that can collect even more, is frightening. It's like, what is the light level currently? And you're like, okay, well, what does that matter? Well,
When
based
you
on
look at
that,
the list of things that you can look at and
yeah,
automate based on those things, right?
yeah. And it's like the light level. It's like, okay, well, what does that matter? Well, they can tell whether your phone is sitting on the desk. If the light level is higher than it would just was, you probably took it out of your pocket. Oh, yeah. They could tell the gyroscope that's moving around, like, oh, is it swinging this way? Oh, you might be walking somewhere. And it's like, that is horrifying to me.
Can I tell you a quick story
Yeah, yeah, please.
from there's an excellent conference called Mac DevOps, happens in Vancouver every July, and it's a bunch of Mac admins. They get together and
Okay.
talk about Apple technologies and how they're working on those admins' lives and how to get things better and so on and so forth. Every year around June, July happens WWDC, right? So there is new APIs, there's new everything. So they're talking about those things. One of the presenters once was telling a story. She worked in uh, uh, she was like a police officer, but she was part of the IT team. Actually, it was the IT forensics team. Okay,
Okay.
they had a case of a potential assassination, and they couldn't exactly uh, prove that person did it. But then they went through that person's watch
No.
data for that. They knew the time the person had died. Okay,
Oh my God.
the time frame. The watch records everything.
Yep.
This movement, this movement, this movement, and exactly at what time that happened and in which geographical location it happened.
Oh my God.
They were able to reproduce exactly all the movements that the person did and dragging the body and through where it dragged the body. So they were able to pinpoint the exact time and location that person was
Shit.
doing and what movement they were doing, and they were able to catch that guy. I don't know if it was a guy or girl, but they were able to prove that that person at that time was exactly where the body was and doing. Yeah.
God. The
So
realization
that's
of
data.
something like
That's
that,
data. That's on the phone. It's on the watch. Is everywhere. But
and it's and the thing that I like about this is it's in how you use it, right? Like we used it
yeah,
in such a unique way to solve a crime, to solve a murder, which we can all agree that's a good thing. But who gets access to that,
yeah.
right? Like you get
Oh, we are giving access to these
to
companies willy
everyone,
nilly. It's
and we
like, oh,
don't even know,
I'm getting
right?
Instagram for free, so whatever, right?
And I mean, technology has been and can be again used in horrific ways. They have so much possibility of good things, but like, not to get political, but like World War II, the reason that the atrocities of World War II were possible was because of new levels of technology that helped automate census. And it's not the technology itself, it's who's behind it. What are they doing? What are they, and that's the Amish have been getting away with more lately. Yeah, maybe.
And,
Yeah.
and that's the whole post-truth Gen AI thing that I don't like.
Oh God, yeah. The whole
It's like,
Ella, I can't wait until we're past the point of even calling it AI, because it's not. It can't think. It can't solve things. It can only do what we have built. It's standing on top of everything we've built, and you can never tell whether it's actually lying or not. Even
oh,
I've go
here's
ahead.
the example. It knows things because data mined the whole internet, right?
Yep.
And books and so on. Hey, is everything that's on the internet correct?
Well,
No,
yeah.
it's not. A
Oh,
lot of things are outdated. So let's
well,
say that we're talking about Portainer. Portainer 2.33 LTS just came out yesterday. Awesome. Um, but there's a lot of data, a lot of information about Portainer from many versions ago that changed already.
yeah.
But it mined that information. And at some point you're asking there, ChatGPT, can you help me with Portainer, this, and that?
Yep.
And it's going to give you all of that information that at some point in time was correct, but today is not
Is
correct
not
anymore. And
correct.
it
Yeah.
doesn't know the difference
Well, and the
of
thing
that.
is, it can mix and match that stuff too.
Yeah,
Like I've
yeah,
recently seen that. I've been trying to set up some different services, and it's like, okay, well, I'm hitting this issue, and it's like, well, here's all this stuff. It's like, okay, but that's somewhat right and somewhat wrong, and then you try to lead it to prompt it, and it's like, okay, well, now it's all wrong. And
yeah,
even with video games, like I've been doing this with video games lately. It's like I'm stuck. I don't know where to go. And it's like, do this. I'm like, that doesn't exist. That was totally wrong. And I love
yeah.
how people call it hallucinations. I understand the point that they're talking about, but let's be honest, it's not hallucinating because first off, that implies a level of consciousness, which I don't agree it has. But secondly, it's just wrong. Can we just call it wrong or lying?
And here's the thing: garbage in,
Garbage
garbage
out.
out, right?
Yeah.
So
No.
if when they were mining the internet, there would be someone reading every single thing and saying, yes,
Yeah.
this is correct, and testing and so on, great, we probably would have an amazing data source there, but it's not how it
Well,
happened, right?
no, and
And
that's
it's
an
getting
excellent point.
better, but
Let's I mean, if you mine the entire internet, right? Let's go with something like color blindness. Because what is red? To red one person, you know, this is red. To another person, this is red, right? Because they don't see red or something. So what is correct? And you're
and
just
there's the other
dumping
thing,
all of that in there. Yeah.
a colorblind person can, depending on which type of color blindness it is, learn that what they see as this is called red. So every time that they see this, it's
Right.
called red,
Yeah.
which for us is red. Well, for a person that's not colorblind, so it is possible. But there are so many different types of color blindness.
Yeah.
Um, there are too many of them, and there are a lot of them they can't. The biggest problem being not being able to see the shades, right?
Right.
So you get to a point, there is that classical test of trying to see the numbers on a chart that have a lot of different varying um,
Yeah, all the different
saturations,
dots and
luminosities,
shades and
contrast of shades of the colors.
yeah.
I don't know much about color blindness, but I know that there is something about that. And LLMs, they know
Well,
whatever it is that we wrote on the internet about
and,
it.
but they can change on a day-to-day basis. I literally was just playing with a specific AI, and I was probing it, asking it like, is this a fascist act? Is this person fascist? And literally a week ago it said yes. And I ask it today and it says no. And like again, who's pulling the strings behind it? But like
Oh wow.
we've I want to come to, actually talk about your stuff because you are a big believer again that you own your things, and again you walked through COVID, helping teams on the technical aspect as well. And I imagine that while there's myself, like I'm very technical, I'm more of an admin. I don't know anything about how film is created, how the flows of that, and that led you, I believe, to create Cre8ive Beast.
Yes, Cre8ive Beast was it was a very specific point in time for me. Up until 2017, I have always been a full-time employee somewhere. I worked on several big companies, and but I always thought I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And up until 2000, I want to say 15, I didn't know what could I be doing as an
Okay.
entrepreneur. But then after that time, I was like, you know what? I'm pretty good at working with video and IT. Um, Once I decide to take that step forward, that's what I'm gonna be working with. And then in 2017, I decided that's the time I should start. I founded Cre8ive Beast. My aim was to work with production and post-production. Like every startup, it's way harder than you think in the beginning.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
I was very lucky that my partner at that time, she had a full-time job. So we agreed that she would take care of the bills. I would take care of setting up the business properly and not needing to worry about the bills. Not having that pressure to solve the bill thing every month, I was able to work properly and help with the bills. So
Oh,
it's
good.
just
Yeah.
a matter of having help in the right
Hmm.
places and saying, hey, maybe I cannot help pay the bills this month and the next month. But if the person says you don't need to worry about it, then you can
Yeah.
concentrate properly on the business, and then you will be able to help in the end. So
Yeah.
that helped me a lot. I'm very grateful for that. Um, it's strange because starting something in 2017, then the first 3 years are generally the hardest ones, and then you tend to get a little bit stable, and then 2017, 18, 19, 20, COVID, and suddenly like everything that you're doing locally is gone. And you're like, oh, right. But then I got very lucky with the queue into the Storm project,
Hmm.
was remote. Um, and honestly, the 2020 for me was 2020 and 2021. Actually, 2020, 21, and 22 were great years for me. I worked in places that I dreamed about working. I achieved things that I, not that I never thought I would be able to achieve, but I always dreamed about achieving. But at some point, you think that it's gonna stay in a dream. You're not gonna be able to get there. I achieved it, and once in a while, I have to look back and just be happy about it. That all of those things that one day seemed impossible were possible, and I'm past them already.
Yeah. You just keep moving forward, right? So, did Cre8ive Beast? Did you leverage the tools you had to help people do remote, or are they two separate things?
Uh, I did help. So Cre8ive Beast, well, because then I was my own boss.
Yeah.
Um, I was not in a company anymore that had 500,000 employees, which was the size of the company that I left before. Nowadays, I think they are past 800,000 employees. Um, I could do, technically speaking, whatever I wanted.
Hmm.
I personally, I don't like to work on Windows. I prefer working on Macs. For the server stuff, working on Linux. And so I could decide, hey, all my computers are going to be Macs. Great. I am the CTO of my own company.
Yeah.
Uh, so then I was able to invest on infrastructure, storage, servers, and so on. And at some point, we're in 2025, right? So 2021, 2022, for all the projects that I was involved, in one way or another, they were asking me which cloud storage should we use. And I always give them 3 or 4 options. And at that time, I was like, you know what? The stuff that I use personally is pretty good. Let's see if I can get more people to use it too. So I gave the pros and cons of all of those services, the pros and cons of mine. Every service have pros and cons.
Yep.
And they decided every single time with every single client that I worked with, they decided to go with my storage. And the one thing they all had in common was like, so if we have a problem, we just call you, right? I'm like, yeah, you just call me. I'll solve the problem. and that's something that none of the other big techs they can do if you have less than, I don't know, 1,000 user accounts. So
Well, no, and even like I've talked to people, it's like, does anyone even know a support number for Google? No, just put it into the tick. Just open a ticket. It's like I want to talk to
Google,
someone.
Dropbox, Microsoft, Lucid
Amazon, like yeah.
yeah,
I know someone that works. Um, he migrated from Brazil to Ireland in order to work for Amazon AWS, and originally it was let's actually help customers solve problems. But now because they're so
which
short
customer
staffed,
size?
I mean, he worked for Amazon, so it was huge customers, right?
Yeah,
Let's actually help them solve problems to, well, we don't have enough people. We have too many customers. Just answer tickets.
yeah,
And it's like, but how do we just don't worry, just answer the tickets with whatever. Just, so the SLA doesn't breach kind of a thing. And he's like, this sucks. We're just spinning our wheels constantly, not getting anywhere. And like just being able to reach out and talk to someone, I
yeah.
feel like
I
so many
heard
people are like, that's a breath of fresh air.
I heard someone mentioning the other day. I went on a meeting, and they said there are companies that are leveraging the fact that they don't want to use AI and saying in the chat, sorry, our AI chatbot was too busy and couldn't pick up this call, but you can talk to me and I'll help you. And I was like, that's great. That's great. Sorry, our AI can't pick up this right now, but I'll help you.
But no, there was the case where a company that was like rated at $1 billion because they were an AI company. It was found out that they had actual human employees answering the questions, and the stock fell off the cliff because, well, it's not AI. But they're doing the job. Like, what the? They're doing the job and they're doing it for less than what you thought they could. And they're humans giving real answers, but because they aren't actually AI, they lost their valuation. I'm just like, what
Yeah.
world are we living in?
Here it is. I think, and this is something that we had talked before. Actually, we don't need to get there right now because then we're going to walk in circles. But yeah, Cre8ive Beast, they all decided to go with my storage, and it worked like that for 3 years. And then this year I said, you know what? We're growing as a cloud storage
Mm-hmm.
service. I think it should be a separate company
Mm-hmm.
because what Cre8ive Beast does is completely different than what this is. Cre8ive Beast is supposed to be creative services, marketing, video, post-production, um, and it has nothing to do with cloud services. As soon as we're a separate company, we can think about cloud infrastructure, networking, storage, compute, GPU. We can think about AI, let's say. One thing that I want to be able to offer is just bare metal for
Mm-hmm.
people to run their own LLMs, whatever LLMs that they're deciding to run. And there are open source services that we can leverage. So, for example, I don't make money out of the platform itself. So, for example, Nextcloud for me probably doesn't make a lot of sense. Not the enterprise one anyway, because the enterprise one is level of big tech, honestly. I had a
Okay.
conversation the other day with them, and it's not exactly what I expected. But there are projects that give you a web interface to talk to your LLM that's running on that bare metal. So I want to be able to actually put equipment into the data center and get people CPU, GPU, and bandwidth to run whatever they want. It
Whatever
can
they
be an
want.
LLM,
Yeah.
but it can be anything else. It can be Xcode in the cloud for all I care. I I want to be able to do a little bit of what Mac Stadium does, a little bit of what AWS does, a little bit of what this
Mm-hmm.
other guy does, but thinking about small to medium-sized businesses and teams, those that the big companies they can these guys, they can use the services from the big companies, but they don't get the support from the big companies that they deserve.
Right. So, yeah, you created Nuvon. Is
Yeah.
that how you pronounce it?
Yes, it's Nuvon, and actually it comes from, oh man, it took forever to come up with that name. There are other companies with the same name in other parts of the world, but I was like, I think it doesn't matter. It comes from the word nuvem, which is cloud in Portuguese,
Okay.
and and a mix of online and moving on. So it's, hey, move on. Let's move on from your big tech company.
I like that.
Yeah, it's still a work in progress, that catchphrase, but we are here to give you an opportunity to move on from big tech.
Right. So, and it's a private cloud that respects your privacy and your budget. So, what do you do to respect someone's privacy?
First of all, um, I like to have a one-to-one conversation with that prospect client. We could open for people to just sign in and start putting their files there, but I want them to understand what, first of all, cloud is. There is a
Mm-hmm.
great t-shirt that you can find somewhere online, which is cloud is just someone else's computer.
Yes.
So they have to understand that when they put their data on AWS, on Google, or Dropbox, or Microsoft, or any of these cloud storage companies, there is an admin account. There is a root level account that has access to their data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Most companies decide to, we will never do that. But they have too many employees. Do you trust all their employees? Okay.
Right.
Do you trust them as a company? So I want people to understand, we have infrastructure, but as an admin myself, I could have access to your data, but I won't. And there are things that we do in order to guarantee you that I'm not getting access to your data. First of all, from the moment that we create your folder in which you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
put all your data, we remove all access to every account that exists except for your own. Okay, so
Okay.
you're the only one that have access to that. From that point forward, everything is logged. If I would add another account to read that folder, it would be logged. And you can ask me for the logs. I will send you them in their entirety based on your folder. So I want to have that level of trust with the person. I want them to understand that 98% of the technology that's out there for storage, there is an admin that has access to it.
Yeah.
Now, it's a matter if you trust them or not.
No, and that's the crazy thing that it seems like a lot of people, even on early Facebook. Like I was, my family was like, "Well, why don't we get on Facebook?" I'm like, "Because you don't know who has access to that." And they're like, "Well, Facebook does." I was like, "But you don't know who they've hired." And it's, time and time again, it came out that, oh, well, every employee and inside Amazon had access to every account. It's like, that's not okay. And
Oh,
in this instance, at least they know Marky Mark has access. Yeah.
here's a thing about trust. A client one of these days called me and say, Felipe, we're missing a file. The worst thing that someone that runs a storage business can hear, it is there is a file missing.
Yeah.
But then I told her, no, I told him, I'm like, no worries, we log everything. So
Yep.
first of all, let's find out why this file is missing. So I go into my logs, I go into their they tell me the file name, because I don't have access to their folder. Like I said before, I don't give access to anyone besides themselves. So the maximum that I can do is search in the logs. They give me the file name, and I can see the last record of that file is deleted. But I can see from which computer station, from which IP address,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all I can see. I can see the username, the computer, and the IP address.
Yeah. You try to be
And
as
they're like,
transparent as possible.
yeah. And then they're like, okay, we have an idea. where that came from. But then we have a lot of recovery steps built in, so they didn't lose their file. Of course, it was caught in the first layer of data security, let's say, and we were able to restore that very quickly. Now, if that would have been on Google or Microsoft, etc.,
Yeah.
and that file just disappeared, do you think you're gonna be able to easily find out? Look,
I
if
mean,
you're the admin of the Google Workspace, you will have the same type of log access.
but
But
do
as
you
a
have the
business owner, the guy will
experience?
not do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I mean, I worked at Red Hat. I worked in support. We got cases, and there were some times where people were like you have to go around and around and around, and either you'll hit a dead end, you'll get the answer, or you'll just walk away because it's not worth your time. At least again, and it's really interesting to me that we have gotten to a point in society where people are willing to pay more for a human. I
Yeah.
myself, so one of the guys, or well, a couple of the guys, in order to get a better audio setup, I asked, like, I don't want to go through Amazon. Like, I don't agree with their stuff, and everyone recommended to me Sweetwater. So I went to a website called Sweetwater, and they do all audio stuff, and the prices were essentially the same, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll support this. And what blew me away is after I got my stuff, someone called me, said, "Hey, is it working? Like, is this exactly what you want?" I was like, "What the hell?" And they're like, "Yeah,
It feels magical, right? Almost.
right, we care about our customers. We
Yeah.
want to make sure it's all working." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Yeah, great." And he said, if you have any questions, if you have any issues, this is my phone number. What you called me from is my phone number. You call me directly. And I was just like
Wow.
blown away by
Yeah.
it. I was like, holy shit, there's a human being there that actually not only calls and talks to me, but fucking cares.
That's the level of what we're trying to do at Novon. We have Mike as well working here. Mike, he's an IT whiz as well. He does automations, he does AI stuff, and he's a great sales guy. Um, the clients that he's bringing in will have his phone number. If something happens, they have him to reach out to, and he is an admin on the service. Same thing with me. Today, I just onboarded a friend of mine. We went for a coffee, and he's like, "I'm using Dropbox," and I'm like, "Do you want to try Nirvana?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I want." And then I was like, I was talking to him about it, and then I remembered I had my laptop with me. I was like, "Why am I talking about it? Why don't I just show you?" Connected to
Yeah.
5G, connected to 5G, and everything worked super fast. I'm like, man, I love when I do a demo and it just works, and I'm over 5G. What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Uh, of course, there is like things that we can't offer yet, but that are super in the radar for us. For now, we're just starting very slow. File syncing, you put your files there, you distribute where you want. There is
Yeah.
backup as well, and that's all based on. And someone was asking me this. This was Luca from Black Void, Black Void dot what info dot. I don't remember. He is connected to me in here. He's from Croatia, guy that does everything Synology, and he asked me, "Is it public information that you are using Synology servers?" I'm like, "Yes, I I don't have any problems with people seeing or knowing about that, um, because I know these servers inside out. There is a reason why I chose to work with them, and I definitely believe in what they're currently delivering. I cannot say anything for the future because I don't know the roadmap of that company, but we are very fast at adapting. We have other servers as well, but for our customer facing, uh, this gives us also an opportunity and an advantage that if our customer has a NAS server in their office, it's plug and play with us, and suddenly we are their arms to the internet.
Yeah. No, and I think again, like what y-
Can you hear the helicopter that's going through here?
yeah, I hear something. Yeah, it's not that loud. It's very quiet. I just thought it was like the wind picking up and blowing. But no, you're fine. The big selling point to me is, not only respects your privacy, but you get people as well. I feel like you need to emblazon on there, like, this is me. When you have a problem, you call me.
Yeah.
Like, because that's that is the difference. Amazon has a fleet of people that you'll never talk to. They have mountains of servers. You have servers. You have people. But the difference is, again, you can talk to me.
And everyone that we need to get service from in order to offer our own service, we also have a person contact. So for example, we are in a data center that a bunch of companies use, including Google and all of these guys, right?
Yeah.
But if I call there, they pick up. I can go there right now, and they're 15 minutes away from where I live. I can go there now and have access to the servers if I ever need to do that. We are doing some crazy upgrades. Like we are we are getting ready to go all the way up to 50 gigabits if needed. So
Holy
we're gonna be
shit.
enabled for that. I don't think we will ever need that. But here's the scenario. It is just from
You
real world data, you know.
no,
I
that
don't
just
think 50
reminds me of
gigabits.
the computer thing. You'll never need more than 8K of RAM. It'll
Oh
be
yeah,
fine.
oh yeah. Well, there's that too, right? But for example, if tomorrow I get a client, they're like, Felipe, we need to transfer 10 terabytes in one day. Can you offer that? Literally, starting next week, sometime next week, within, I will call it 30 minutes, we can go and up our bandwidth. Uh,
The bee wants to be on as well.
ah, it's a wasp. Go
Oh
away.
God, no. My kid's been obsessed with wasps
that's
lately. Yeah, wasps are
that's
the
the downside
assholes
of
of
being
the.
outside.
It's
So within 30 minutes, we're going to be able to bring as much bandwidth as we want. And of course, that person needs to have access to that bandwidth. Today, realistically, the maximum that you can get at home, if you have very good connections, 10 gigabits. So we would be able to say, hey, let's get 10 gigabits for this guy here. And he's going to get 10 gigabits. He's going to be able to transfer at 1,000 megabytes a second, and he's going to get that 10 terabytes in no time. Today,
and
we enable anyone to transfer, and we don't throttle them at 100 megabytes a second, so a gigabit, up and down.
so you have two different products listed. You have Drive and you have Safe Backup.
Yes.
Drive itself, is Drive like
Don't
what
use
is
it as a
Drive?
backup.
Don't use it as a
Drive,
backup. No,
Drive
but
is for file syncing. So you want to
okay.
host your files, and you want to have access to them over the web, on your phone, on your computer. You want to upload and download from any of those devices. That's Drive. But one thing that we make it very clear, and I always doing that on the onboarding, is Drive is not a backup. So
It's right, because
do
if you
not put
sync
a file there and have that as the only source of that file.
right, because if you sync your files and you had removed it, I'm assuming it's like
Yeah,
Dropbox and things like that where it removes it then.
there are three options
And
they can choose. They can choose as download only, upload only, or two-way. The
okay,
two-way is the
yeah, that's
standard.
standard. Right.
But most people are going to be on the standard. If they delete here, deletes there. If deletes there, deletes here. So that's
Right.
not a backup, right? If you do upload only, you almost have a backup, because if you do upload only, if you delete here, it doesn't delete there.
Right.
But why I say that's not a backup too is because it doesn't have the safeguards that an actual backup has. Because a backup, you don't want to be duplicating your data every time that you're running a backup. You want to have a bunch of other things that are more efficient. But not only that, you want to have your data saved in a few different places and encrypted.
Yeah. No, and that's I was just looking at. You have safe backup, and it's interesting because you actually have safe backup AES 256 at rest and in transit optional client
Yes.
keys. So literally, it is privacy because you
Yeah.
yourself couldn't get access to it if I have a
Yeah.
client key, right?
To this, I cannot have access at all. For me, it's just blobs of data that I would
Yeah.
never be able to know what it is. So if, for example, a client would just say, "Hey, I have a knowledge NAS here. I don't want the whole cloud thing of accessing my files in the cloud, but I want to make sure that if, I don't know, there's a fire here or a flood,
Right.
my files are safe," then I would say go for safe backup because
Right.
that's what's meant for.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's not only for Synology servers, of course. You can do that for Linux VMs, Linux bare metal. You can do that for Windows. You can do that for Mac. Well, I
Okay.
wish one day we can do that for iPhones as well and Android phones. That would be interesting. So we don't need to rely on, let's say, Apple and iCloud for backups.
Right. No, and it's just fascinating to me how you got excuse me, how you got from two into the storm to, we could back up our data privately. Like that
Three, two,
is,
one, 321, 3 copies in 2 different types of media, at
well, and
least.
your people's offsite backup, and again, privacy first, and Felipe's there. And not only is Felipe there to talk to, Felipe's all over the Fediverse as well.
Yeah,
Oh my,
I
you're sending
am.
me stuff. So.
I try to I'm trying a little bit more to be more present on the Fediverse because I'm there more like watching than I am like producing stuff. But I'm trying
Yeah.
to change that a little bit and give back a little bit. One of the things that I promised people to do, and I will still do, is get my channel, both the YouTube channel and the PeerTube channel,
That's
and I will start getting back everything that I learned over these years in terms of self-hosting, Docker,
okay.
uh, a lot of things in Docker. Docker is great. First of all, I'm a huge fan. A huge fan of containerizing everything. And but open source projects and general Docker stuff and Docker Compose stuff is very badly documented. So I'm going to try to change that a little bit, to document things and try to explain. Because sometimes they're like, "Hey, here it is, how to install Portainer on your Docker. Copy this line and paste it on your terminal and hit enter. And then this other line and hit enter." And you're like, you're copying a bunch of stuff and you don't know what is actually happening there,
Yeah.
right? Uh,
it's
I will try to explain. So, for example, one of my servers, if I don't specify a network subnet, so if I don't have a network block there on my compose, and in each container I have a specific IP for a static IP for each one of the containers, I don't get access to the internet. There is something broken on that Docker implementation that I need to do this. So I think it's important to document that, put it out there for people, because someone will come across that. And then there are things such as uh, things that I never read anywhere said. For example, on Portainer, if you're creating a stack, and let's say that is a stack for authentic, and you give a name for that stack to that stack as authentic. A lot of Docker Compose templates that we see specify the container name.
yes.
But if you don't put the container name, the Portainer will name that container as the name of the stack, followed by the name of the service.
Okay.
So if the service is server that has the image for authentic, and the name of
Mhm.
the stack is authentic, the name of the container will be authentic server -1. And
Yep.
that's very helpful because if you want to run authentic for 5 different clients, you can have authentic client A, authentic client B, C, D, and E,
Yeah.
and none of them you need to be changing the name of the container. You just let them pick up the name of the container based on the name of the stack. But that information is not, it's not like easily available. You just
Right.
observe it happening, and then you're like, oh, okay, that could be interesting.
It's
And there's a
funny you
bunch of
say
things like
that.
that.
I mean, I started my IT career shortly before Docker was a thing. So I remember it coming up, and I've gotten to use it more with my nonprofit, and I have some guys that are helping me with it, but like trying to troubleshoot stuff is just such a pain in the ass. Like I don't know if I see you use Ghost. If you got it to email, how the hell did you do that? Because like I'm hitting issues. I cannot get it to send out email. And I think
How
it
can
has
I can
something
help
to
you with
do with the
that?
container,
I can
but I
help you
don't
with
know.
that because I spent many hours trying to solve that, right?
Oh God, please do.
And with
It
email specifically, I can tell you best thing you do is to sign up for something like Postmark
See, I have a
or
Mailgun.
Mailgun.
Yeah, I've signed up with Mailgun, but I can't get the emails out. But anyway, yeah, I have a couple like guys that they've been busy to help me, but yeah, I need all the help I can get with it. I will say Docker is absolutely incredible for lifting and shifting things. I've had to do it recently. My old computer, oldest one, it was acting like a server was kind of dying. I built a new computer. I moved my computer to that place, and like lifting up all of that, like literally, I removed the hard drive and put it in, and I just, as long as Docker's installed, Docker start, and you're fine. We can hear. What is that now? Sounds like a train.
It's a military helicopter. I live relatively close to the military air base
Oh,
here,
okay.
and I think it's very active because they probably are training pilots. So sometimes
Oh, yeah. They're always training.
we can see and hear F-16s flying over here, and a lot of helicopters lately.
Yeah, I imagine. But yeah, Docker. Yes, and Enoent said it's a skill issue. It's 100% a skill issue. As Felipe said earlier, I don't want to learn it. I don't want to learn something new. But I have. I've learned a lot new thanks to the folks that I have in my community that help me. But yeah, that's one thing. Like I can't get that damn thing working, and I don't know why. So if anyone's out there that wants to help me, I'll more than gladly take help. Felipe as well. So you said you have a peer tube as well?
I do, I do. My PeerTube is just have my stuff there. It's like
What's the link?
it's video.baez.io. I will ping it here for you. Um, I I connected mine to yours, so every time that you're
Oh,
putting out a video, I'm mirroring your video, so you have a peer in Europe that's in a data center. So people in Europe, when they're playing back the video here, it's very possible that they are hitting my peer.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
that's what it is for, right?
Right? Yeah,
I
that's what the
just I
amazing
just
stuff of
wish
this.
I just wish on on PeerTube, and maybe that's possible, and it's just a lack of knowledge. I just wish I could say every time this channel puts out a video, automatically mirror to my server, so I can
Hmm.
help serve it. But I'm having to do it manually so far.
There
So if
is
anyone knows an automatic way of doing that,
there is a redundancy setting that you could set, but the host has to do it as well. I was allowing redundancy from everyone, but I was getting some really weird places. So yeah, I can actually enable redundancy and make sure that I'm hosting, and whenever I host it, I believe goes to yours as well. So thank you. But
it's a little exoteric for me still, PeerTube and how it's working there. But I love that I can that it has remote runners, so I can actually get an army
yes,
of small machines that can transcode the videos very quickly, and
I
that's in my to-do list. to
I
do.
have, yeah, a bunch of the guys again that are in my community have set up their own remote runners like locally to their houses,
Yeah.
and then those can run. And yeah, no, it's kind of cool. It has some drawbacks. They know it better than I do. Um, one of them said, "Fuck the remote runners," because if one of them gets into a weird state, like it will grab something to do, and then it just kind of hangs there, and that doesn't get done. But then the others do. It's interesting. It yeah, PeerTube's a unique beast, as someone said. But I'm more than happy to talk to you. Or well, really, I should have my community members talk to you about it. Do you see a way to loop New Vaughn into something like this? Or is there plans
Yes.
or anything?
Uh, the plans are a little bit obscure
Mm-hmm.
because as a company, we need to make sure that we are offering things that people need and want, right?
Yes. Yeah.
We
Oh
have
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
infrastructure. We have the infrastructure to run a lot of things. And I am addicted to self-hosting. So that's a weird mix, right? I mean, if it's up to me, I'm just gonna start running everything that's out there, every single weird project that I see. Hey, I can self-host. I'm gonna run it and spin up a subdomain and have it running there. But I need to be a little bit careful and
Yes.
make sure
Yes.
that I'm not biting more than I can chew.
Well, especially when you're offering direct human to human services, right? You have
Yeah,
to, at the end of the day, you have to make sure you're valuing your time. If there's someone that's like, I run a peer tube and I have 60 terabytes and I want to pay you $5 a month, and oh yeah, I need you to hold my hand through everything. It's like, we might not be the best option for you.
yeah. So, for
Right?
example, PeerTube is running on Nuvon's infrastructure, but is on
Okay.
my personal domain,
Yeah.
meaning it is not a service. It is a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's tapped into Novon's compute and GPU and storage, so it's more like a test. And I don't promise anyone to hold their anything there because there is only my account. So
Yes.
if at any
Yep.
point people say, "Hey, you know what? I want, I could use your PeerTube as a replacement for Vimeo to host my online classes that I sell." That would be a business that we could say, hey, yeah, maybe that makes sense. And then we
Okay.
could run a peer-to-peer instance that it doesn't even need peers. It's just on that infrastructure. Maybe we do peers. I don't know. But with peer-to-peer, I don't know exactly what would be the model.
Yeah, I think
I would love peer-to-peer to become a thing, like a huge thing, because YouTube has too much power, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree.
And I think, yeah, I think we need to do something about it. I'm not a very big I'm not a person that you're gonna ever find me in protests, or that you're gonna call me an actual libertarian, or I'm also not a person that like I left my country because I didn't agree with a lot of things that were happening there. I don't have the will to say I will change the country and how
Mm-hmm.
things are being done. I but I know that I don't have that much power to influence, so I try to do just the things that I can, and to get the projects that I can. Storage now is a big one for me because people in my industry, we
Well,
always need a
it's
lot of storage and fast storage, so I know
well,
how
and
to do that.
I think you are though, because you're giving people choice outside of those normal things that might cut them off for some reason. And again, as we see specific governments pressuring these companies to do their bidding, they are, right? And
And it's hosted 100% in EU, which today is very important for EU companies. Uh, People here are getting worried about how politics in the United States are
yeah,
influencing American companies, which host services that everyone is using.
and
It's getting a little scary.
I think you actually, you might not be at protests, but if you have the opportunity to like go to, you know, local city council and be like, "Hey, we have a choice. You
Yeah,
know, I work for this company." That's actually why I started my nonprofit, is because especially in the US, people, there's 350 million people, and one senator has to talk to so many people, and a lot of times it's like, well, business is what drives the economy, kind of a thing, so we take them more. So like, okay, fine, I created a business, and like I'm trying to push it to people, and even regular folks, they are so receptive to, do you want to get off of YouTube but still host your videos? It's like, yes, okay, but it takes money, and we have yet to figure out how to do that. Like right now it comes out of the money that I gave the company in order to host it, but that's the hope, right? As you said, like I can run my own and you can mirror it somewhere else. So even if I go away, we still have those copies. And I think that that's valid, because as we've seen, a lot of companies want to shut down the open internet to control it more. And this is my way of fighting back as well, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
and I think it's particularly more annoying for those who were there in the 90s when the internet was
yeah.
becoming popular,
Hmm.
because it was the open internet, right? It was
Yeah.
open for everyone. Hey, you can host your website. You're there in GeoCities websites, Time, AOL, and stuff like that. It's particularly
GeoCities. Yeah.
annoying to us because we know that the internet was kind of created open,
Hmm.
and we are getting to a point that is too many walled gardens, uh, and I don't think we will ever get to the point that the internet is just a private place, uh, like Elon Musk wants it to be, just for his folks,
Yeah.
because we still can program whatever we want on our computers. We still can run our own servers. We still can host our servers in data centers. While this can happen, we still can do anything we want on the internet. We just need to maybe look for places, and the Fediverse is probably the best way. Like I just recently started following one account that's a bot account that reposts self-hosting. I'm like,
Oh.
man, I don't know if I should have done that, because suddenly I'm starting to know about so many cool projects. I'm like, I I used to hate Twitter because I was seeing stuff that I was not following. And
Yes. Yep.
on Mastodon, you can switch that off, right? You can see only the people that you're following. You don't see the reposts, for example. And I do
Right.
that for a lot of accounts. But then I found this self-host bot that just reposts whoever uses the hashtag self-host. And every day I'm learning about a different project that I'm like, oh my God, let me run a container with this thing here. Uh, and I'm loving the internet right now. I'm loving the internet like if it would be the 90s or the beginning of the 2000s.
Yeah. No, that's exactly how I feel
Like
about the
everything is
Fediverse.
possible right now. I'm
Yeah.
loving that there is Dan doing pixel fed and loops. I'm still waiting for my loops account. Uh, but more than that, it's great that this is part of the Fediverse, meaning, hey, I don't need to strain his server with my photos. I can put
Right.
my photos in my server because they're already there anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, my
And
server does deduplication, so as soon as I post that photo, uh, if it's not compressed, it's gonna, you know,
no one
not
can
gonna
take it
occupy extra
down,
space, and no one can
right?
take it down.
We've seen Mastodon.social go down. Does all of Mastodon go down? Does all the Fediverse go down? No.
Yeah,
No. And it's,
my server
yeah,
could go
it's
down, but there's only me there. It's gonna affect
right.
only me.
Yeah. Exactly. I love, I'm smitten with it as well, and I keep trying to spin up different things and whatnot. I'm still trying to get Bonfire to work. I will get it to work one day.
Bonfires for what?
See, that's
Oh
everyone.
yeah. Oh god.
No one really knows Bonfire. So Bonfire is trying to be a social networking framework, or is that what they call it? I don't know if it's social network, but it's a social framework. Think of,
In the
if
place of
you
Activity Pub.
no, it builds on ActivityPub. So it's basically one layer higher than ActivityPub. It like, if you get up the basic idea up and running, it's essentially, it kind of looks like Mastodon, but it has like circles. So if you remember Google, what the hell was it?
Circles. Google Circles, actually.
Is that what it was called? Google Circles?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. It has the whole circle idea so that you could do that, but all of it is kind of extensions built in place. So like all of the Mastodon type stuff is Bonfire Social, and you have all the different
Interesting.
extensions that plug in, and that builds up, your experience, but you can have it completely different where, and I asked them like, can I just have like host my own web page there and have it be like Ghost? And they said, yeah, you could build out extensions that do that. And they have a ton of extensions. Right now, it's a bit fiddly to get running. I haven't gotten it running. I've tried twice. I've tried a couple different ways. The Docker implementation, they've told me like they need to work on it. They need to work on the docs. But the best way I can describe it to people is that are techie, like Linux is the kernel, right? And then you build out all the little pieces on top of it to eventually get to an end desktop. I see Bonfire as potentially being able to do that, where they are making it easier to have the kernel, around ActivityPub, and then you build out all the extensions on how you want it to be and build the social aspect as to what you want. And I think it's really cool, the idea of it, but I'm trying to get it up and running so that I could see the backend implementation. They have a demo server, but that's for, more like end user facing stuff. I want to see how the admin side of it works, but I need to get it up and running first. I'll get that.
Interesting. Very interesting. And you just reminded me of Varnish, actually. I don't. I should understand how Varnish works, but I don't understand how Varnish works yet. And I would
Well, there's
like to, if anyone can point me to the right direction, because I see blog posts talking about Varnish,
mhm.
and some people saying, "Oh, I got my ghost blog behind Varnish."
Yep.
I would like to know more about it.
Yeah, that's a what do they call it? A
A
caching
CDN.
service.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it keeps the files in memory so that it can immediately serve them instead of having to spin up a web server that then reads it and serves it.
Yeah,
I haven't
I
messed
think
with
the idea is
Varnish.
having it somewhat like of a load balancing, so you don't get a lot of requests hitting one specific place, and they can be getting stuff from different places. So your images,
Oh,
I
I
don't know if
don't.
it's the image that would be on Varnish, for example,
Yeah, I
that there
haven't
are.
messed with it.
So
Let me
then you
see.
have like 3 nodes of Varnish, if I'm understanding correctly, and then they are load balancing between themselves, where which one is providing that image, and then only the actual content, like the text, will be hitting your server. But I don't know if that's exactly what it is doing.
I don't
Uh,
know. I know Elena Rossini, who is
yeah,
director
it's
as
through her
well.
that
That
that it got
did you
into my
learn it?
radar.
That's yep. She hit the Mastodon hug of death as well, to her ghost blog, and then she's like, "Okay, I got Varnish set up." And I started asking my guys, and I don't know if it's not where we're at yet, but yeah, I could. It seems like a really cool and interesting thing to check out and play with as
Yeah, I
well.
would like to be ready, so when it happens, it doesn't go down. So I would like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
already have it in place. Who knows when something that we say end up viral and people want to watch everything, right? I don't know.
all right. Well, now for the real reason I asked Felipe here is to give him the opportunity to win a prize of a lifetime. Our prize today is a t-shirt that says, I won this as a prize on Fireside Fedi as they felt that I'm too motivated of a person to give anything and instead that I wanted to get everything by improving myself.
Oh wow.
I thought about $1 billion, but I figured that you're too motivated of a person to be given anything and instead that you'd want to work for it for yourself. So,
Yes, you're actually very right.
are you ready for the quiz, Felipe? All
I am. I think I
right.
am.
All
I
right.
hope I am.
Favorite movie and why is it Spaceballs?
Can you believe I have never watched it?
That's the end. Goodbye. No. What is
I
it's okay.
can give a different answer.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah. What's
say
your favorite
what's
movie?
my guilty pleasure movie, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna be so judged. Uh, you know, on a rainy day, and you're like, I just don't want to think a lot and you just want the same way that you have comfort food.
Yeah.
I have a comfort movie that if I'm feeling a little sentimental or whatever, I end up watching. And please don't judge me. Getting ready. The Bodyguard. The Bodyguard.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, Kevin Costner, Whitney
And
Houston. I'm a
Whitney Houston,
huge
yeah.
Whitney Houston fan, and
Okay.
it's
No, there's I was worried you're gonna be like, yeah, Jackass. Be like, no, okay,
no, I'm
yeah,
too sentimental.
that is great though. Does your wife watch it with you?
Oh, she does. She does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think
nice.
it was her first time watching with me. She's too young. I think the movie is like not her age, but uh,
It came out what,
I,
like late 80s, early 90s, I think? I don't even know.
late 90s, I think. Yeah,
Oh, late 90s? Wow. I was a teenager
yeah.
then. Yeah, I
I
wasn't
think
into it.
it's probably from 90. I want to say
I gotta know now.
98, 99. IMDb would say I'm very good at generally remembering more or less the date range, but 98,
Oh,
99. No,
no,
2002 or something like that.
no. I was right. Early 90s,
Yeah.
1992. Yeah.
92.
Yeah.
Wow. It's older than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that movie is older than my wife.
Not older than me. All right. So
Not older than
good.
me either.
Good. Next question is clouds or privacy?
Oh, privacy.
All right.
That was easy.
I thought you were gonna go something like, well, with New Vaughn, you can have cloud and privacy.
Cloud is just someone else's computer.
It is, yes.
Even at Novon, it's our computers, but we will give you as much privacy as humanly possible. I was talking to a knowledge guy, and I said I would love to have the option of zero knowledge.
Yes.
That I can give
Yes.
people a folder, and
Yes.
even as an admin, I cannot have access to it. But I don't think it will ever happen.
I mean, Proton has that, supposedly. But I don't know how, and I'm pretty sure it's all like that part is all proprietary inside of it. And you're gonna have trade-offs, right? Like
there's another company that has LucidLink has zero knowledge in theory. They have object storage, and then they have the LucidLink that does the encryption on the client level. Okay, so the client is encrypting all the data that goes on the object storage. So the object storage provider does not have access to that.
Oh, okay,
You are the only one that has the encryption key to decrypt that data that you put there. But then that has definitely trade-offs.
Yes.
LucidLink specifically, if you go offline, hey, goodbye. You don't have access to your data.
Right. Right.
So,
all right. Next question is Carnival, soccer, or the Amazon? The Amazon, not Amazon. The Amazon.
Carnival, soccer, the Amazon. The Amazon.
The Amazon? Okay, why the Amazon?
I'm a very non-typical Brazilian. I don't like soccer very much. I do not like Carnival. And the Amazon is probably one of the most precious things that we have in the world today. We still don't know everything that's in there.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's... Dude, I love this because the Bodyguard, the Amazon. Is that your wife laughing? Is she laughing at you?
She doesn't even care that I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, you're one of the most sentimental tech guys I've ever known, I think. I love this. This is great.
Probably.
Again, see, go with New Vaughn. You get a wonderful, caring, passionate human being to help you out with all your problems. I love this. All right. Next question is, what does an alternate universe Felipe do?
Whoa. The alternate universe Felipe is a pilot.
Okay, what kind of pilot?
If he didn't have eyesight problems and scoliosis, he would be a fighter jet pilot. Hopefully in a time that has no wars, that he is just training and
just flying everywhere
and just flying. Yeah, Uh, I still want to actually get a PPL, so a private pilot license
Okay.
in my lifetime, so
Okay.
I can just get into an airplane and travel to Croatia and spend some time at the beach and come back by myself. I think that's totally doable. But the alternate universe Felipe is a pilot.
Okay. I reached out to an alternate universe. I have an alternate universe phone here. It's very technical. Don't ask. And the alternate universe Felipe said he is also the founder of Cre8ive, but it's a different kind of company. It's an artistic consulting company where Felipe gives advice to aspiring artists. However, his advice just consists of telling them to be more creative and draw more apes everywhere. So, best
Great
of
job,
luck.
Felipe.
Yeah, best of luck to alternate universe Felipe. Maybe
Hey,
he,
just work harder.
yeah, yeah, just
Don't
do
suck
better,
at what you
guys. That's
do.
it. Yeah, here, throw some eights in there somewhere. All right. Next question is red, green, or blue?
Blue.
Why blue? I mean, you're wearing blue shirt right now, but why
It's
blue?
just pretty. And in nature is one of the rarest colors there is. It's extremely hard to be produced. Actually, there is a
That,
huge
I didn't know that. Is
story
that
about
true?
LEDs and producing blue LEDs. Is it used to be very, very, very difficult. I don't know the whole story, but it's just one of those things. Is such a pretty color,
Wow.
and it's a color that in nature it's not there. It looks like it's there, and there's a bunch of things like that. I'm not probably like misquoting everything,
It's
but
okay. We had to get the misinformation in, so
yeah, of course. I mean, truth. Why
it's
do we need truth, right?
the internet, right? That's how you gotta go.
Yeah, but blue is pretty.
All right. No, that's I love that. I need to look that up
Red is
now.
too aggressive, and the other one was green, right?
Green, yeah. And in
Green.
nature, green is really everywhere.
It is, and it's the color that we're most sensitive to. It's the easiest color for us to capture with our eyes. But if you look around, blue is so rare to see, and it just pops
I
against
I'm
anything.
actually I'm actually going to be my wife and I we're moving the kids' toys out of a playroom and we're going to make it my office and because computers, my kids and I play a lot of games together. So we're all discussing like what color on the walls do we want? And we went with a dark blue. And I'm happy we
Oh,
did now
nice!
because it's so rare. I love that. Okay.
It's
Good call.
nice.
Yeah. All right. The last question is as usual, will be sent to Felipe telepathically. So I'll send you the question, take your time and think about it, and then give me the answer. All right. You ready? Here it comes. Okay. It was a long telepathic question that time. Take your
Yes,
time.
I
Yep.
really liked being here, and I really enjoyed this conversation, and I would totally do it again.
Oh, excellent. Well, that's a great answer, obviously. I mean, you know how to butter people up. So,
What, that was not the
congratulations.
question that you asked me?
No, it totally was. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're telepathic, and there's no packet loss in telepathy, right? Not that I know
There
of. So
isn't.
there
That's
might be
great, right?
cross
Is it
chatter,
like a
but
Vulcan thing?
I think Vulcans have some of that. Yeah, yeah. Congratulations, you got every answer, either correct or incorrect. Good job. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a t-shirt big enough to hold the entire message of I won this as a prize on Fireside Fedi as they felt I'm too motivated of a person to be given anything. Instead, that I want to get everything by improving myself. Um, and sure, we could have reduced the font size, but this is Fireside Fedi, and that would make sense. And we don't do that kind of thing here. So you're at least walking away with a valuable experience instead. So you're
I
welcome,
love
Felipe.
experiences. Talking
Yeah.
about experiences, my mom's birthday was just yesterday, and I asked her, "Do you want a thing for birthday, or do you want an
No
experience?" And then said an
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
So she's gonna get an interesting experience coming soon,
Yeah.
and
No,
I prefer
that's
experience too.
Yeah.
And this was an extremely pleasant and great experience. And I wasn't
Thank you.
reading what people were texting while we were talking here. Otherwise, I would completely not pay attention properly.
Yeah.
But I will rewatch and see everything that everyone's commented and reply to any comments there is on your PeerTube once we are
Yeah.
there.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Fireside Fedi. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, I don't have to tell you to keep moving forward because I don't know if you'll ever stop, right? Like, so
Only once I'm dead.
yeah. And even then, do we all keep moving? We don't know. I believe that, you know, our energy has to go somewhere. So, but yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. Thank you to everyone on the Fediverse. Uh, as Leo would say, please don't forget to like, subscribe, interact, comment, any of this. If you enjoyed it, you know, boost it out. I appreciate it. If you have any recommendations on more fun people to talk with, like Felipe, we actually hooked up over the Fediverse. He reached out to me, and you know, here we are. And for anyone out there that thinks that you're not interesting enough or unique enough, or you're not creating your own platform for everything, we're all interesting, we're all unique. You have a unique story to tell. You know, I've not lived your life, I've not lived Felipe's life. It's fun to learn and grow about all the people on the Fediverse. That's why we're all here. We're all unique. Thank you for being on the Fediverse. Thank you for sharing your passions and your interests. Don't forget to tip your admins. Don't forget to tip your developers. Sign up for support with services that have real people behind them. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you all. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.